Hi, welcome to Todd's Tips. I'm Todd Barsness, a full-time voiceover talent, and Todd's Tips is a feature of VO Marketing Pro. Now, if you'd like more information about VO Marketing Pro or anything else related to voiceover, just visit our Facebook page, website, or contact us via email. The links are located here.
Hey, it's Todd and Hudson, your favorite voiceover talents. I don't know if that's true. I just keep saying that. I brought it back. As you can tell, I am a little under the weather. Was a good week to be able to put into practice some things that Dad does when he's sick. So I'm sure we'll share some of those things in our VO Marketing Pro Plus group, along with our numbers video next after this one. But we're glad you are here. Dad, Todd's been in voiceover for 15 years now, and I have been in voiceover now for 4 years. And so Dad has never gotten any formal coaching. I've never gotten any coaching. Dad has never done any paid coaching. So anyway, Dad's kind of a voice actor for voice actors. These are our Todd's Tips videos. We do these every single week. You can check them out on our VO Marketing Pro channel and see what you think of them. Dad just hit another milestone, and he'll talk about that maybe in this video or the next one, but we won't bore you with those details right now. If you want to know how much Dad makes, stuff like that, you can check out our other numbers videos and stuff like that. So I will hand it over to Todd.
Yeah, so these are Todd's Tips. We've been doing some do's and don'ts, some things that I do and don't. They're not real specific. They're business principles, mindsets. And so that's what I focus on most in these do's and don'ts, or kind of the umbrella term of Todd's Tips. And so I'm going to get to that in just a minute, but these are based on my 7 building blocks of VO success. Building block number 1, the foundational building block, is who I listen to. That's the question. That's the most important question as you start your voiceover business. Who am I going to listen to? There's lots and lots of voices out there. You don't have to listen to me. You can listen to whomever you'd like to listen to, whoever makes sense to you, or whatever path you choose to take in voiceover. But understand that there are multiple paths, and so you are going to need to choose who you're going to listen to. And so that's why the foundational building block is who I listen to. And that's why I spend the vast majority of my time talking about that. People say, well, why do you talk so much about voiceover coaches and voiceover conference speakers and leaders and industry pundits and the movers and shakers in voiceover? Well, it's because for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been studying the industry, and I've come to the conclusion that so much of the important decision that you need to make is who are you going to listen to. And so today we're going to talk again about number 1, who I listen to. And so I do believe, this is my do or don't, I do believe that truth is often stranger than fiction. And I'm going to stay close to my notes here because I want to do this in a very succinct and clear way as possible. So most VO actors are struggling to make a living these days. That's just the truth. NAVA came out with their great survey at the beginning of this year, and the vast majority of those in voiceover are struggling just to make ends meet. It's a pretty common theme these days, and I'm not going to get into all of the reasons why. Those have been well documented, and they don't really need to be unpackaged here again. But there are a lot of voiceover actors who are having a hard time making enough money to be profitable. So in my humble opinion, there seems to be 4 basic choices that people make when they're not profitable. First choice is modify or even overhaul how they're doing their business so that they can start making more money in voiceover. Sounds logical. Second choice is completely get out of voiceover. And a lot are getting out of voiceover because there's just not enough money. Third choice is take on a part-time job or maybe even a full-time job to make ends meet while you try to get your acting career more on a solid, footing. The fourth choice, lastly, a choice would be to start coaching voiceover or up your coaching game if you're already coaching. Unfortunately, in the voiceover industry, this seems to be the choice a lot of people are making. And I think it's to the detriment of the voiceover industry as a whole. Imagine this, not being successful in something and choosing not to modify or overhaul your business or completely go out of business because you've done poorly, or figure out ways to make money apart from voiceover while you try to get, the ship righted. But instead, choose the fourth way to go. Start coaching or turn up your coaching game. That's like saying, hey, everyone, I'm unsuccessful in voiceover, so let me coach you in my unsuccessful ways. I can't really make the kind of money I want to make, and so I'm going to start coaching or up my coaching game. That seems absurd, doesn't it? Well, example, just a little over a year ago, I heard a tough talking head actor and voiceover coach who was on another voiceover actor and coach's podcast talking about how his VO income was starting to flatline. This particular VO guy is a rising star on the podcast and conference speaking scene. Both of these VO actors / coaches were agreeing how the industry was changing and how they, like most actors, were finding it difficult to keep their incomes where they once were. The podcaster who was hosting the rising star voiceover talent and coach has since gotten out of voiceover.
Oh.
Meanwhile, the tough talking head rising star VO actor and coach announced a few months later in his end of the year video that he was going to pivot from his VO acting game and really up his coaching game, all couched in the idea of helping more VO talent who are struggling to make a living in VO. Now, most people probably didn't hear the podcast and video or didn't pay attention to it, and so they didn't put 2 + 2 = 4 together. This rising star was making a business decision. He needed to make more money in coaching because he wasn't making it in voiceover. So this actor and coach was going to gather more students together, to increase the spread of his incompetency to more people. If somebody wrote this story in a book, people would never buy it. They wouldn't believe it. Truth is oftentimes stranger than fiction. So, just in closing, what do you do? Well, you need to vet your VO coach. How? Not by listening to them talk about how successful they are and how successful their students are, or not by listening to coaching buddies tell you what a reputable coach they are, but instead 3 things. 1, ask them how much money in voiceover did you make last year and the last 4 years before that. So the last 5 years, how much did you make in voiceover alone income? Second, how much money do your top 3 students make in voiceover in the last 5 years? So you can see if their strategies work. And lastly, how much money do they, the coach, make in voiceover alone and voiceover coaching? So you can compare the two. And those are 3 vetting things that are very simple. They're very concrete. You're able to see right out in front of you how much the person makes in coaching, how much the person makes in voiceover alone, and how much they've made in voiceover, to see if they're successful and to see if their students are able to recreate that success.
And if they're followable.
Yes, correct. So those are some things to think about. And I do believe truth is often stranger than fiction, especially in the voiceover world.
Well, enough said there. Unlike anybody else in the voiceover industry, we're going to give our total numbers in voiceover alone in the next video, in our numbers video. You can go back and check those out. We have a lot of them on our VO Marketing Pro channel. Feel free to check those out. We do it down to the cent. So feel free to check that out if you'd like to. We appreciate you stopping by. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. We'll see you next week for another Todd's Tips, and we might see you in the numbers video. See ya.
Thanks a lot for joining me for Todd's Tips. And if you'd like more information about VO Marketing Pro or anything else related to VO, the links are listed here.